Good morning. My name is Drew. This is my third time recording a video, realizing that 2 to 3 minutes of speaking is actually not much. I'm going to provide a quick analysis on Recardo Fernandez's presentation on his TED Talks, managing a remote team. A couple of things really caught my attention quickly. The first is that he spends 2 to 6 hours every day in meetings. Like cultural challenges, technological challenges, all that stuff aside, that's just a lot of physical challenge. That's a lot of communicative stamina. You got to maintain good posture. You have to have a certain quality to your speech that's engaging, at least to some degree, right? You have to have your space set up that is conducive to presenting to a team, and a lot of those things are unique challenges in and of themselves. Some cultural languages challenges. He has some anecdotes about his Indian team member or his South African team member. I'm a chef by trade, and so I work with a lot of people that don't speak English. My sous chef has a pretty decent command of English, and one day coming into work, checking in with him, I asked him how the rest of the night went. Right, he and I worked together the night before. I went home, he stayed to finish up service, and so I asked, how was the rest of the night? And he thought I was asking about the quality of the sleep. And, it's innocuous, but rest of the night. That lack of context provided that misunderstanding, which I really appreciated as a quote from Recardo during his presentation. Some technological challenges, as far as connectivity goes, shared app access, but also how different cultures view apps and view technology in the workplace in general. My staff in particular, they don't use email, they don't use Google Docs, they don't use Hot Schedules, they don't use any kind of online payroll software, but the company I work for does. And so, as a manager, I have to kind of evaluate the cost-benefit of kind of forcing these people to adopt those practices that they may not use otherwise. Maybe not in another job. Maybe they have no interest in it. Maybe, in the context of hiring a dishwasher, training them how to navigate digital software is not something that they or I are particularly interested in investing in. And so you meet in the middle, right? The company uses a scheduling app for labor analysis, and so I type that up, and that's updated every week. But my team prefers a paper document, and having that on hand allows them to be included in the conversation. That if they have questions about their schedule, we can talk about it either with my rudimentary Spanish or using a translator, and the paper is there as a physical prop to provide context. That, if there's a misunderstanding about a certain day or a certain availability, you can just point to it, and there it is. And that helps bridge that gap of communication. That not only do I want them to know when they can work, but I want them to know that I am open to conversations about availability in general, that it's not set in stone and things of that nature. But, knowing your audience and being inclusive, I think is so critical. And Recardo touches on that in his video, that you have to create empathy to have a great remote team. That life is complex, and so much of the reason that people want to work remotely is flexibility. Flexibility specifically to address the dynamics of their non-work life. And so, a traditional way of looking at requested times off or whatever is that, as the manager, it's not my concern that their kid has a school play, or they have another job and they have to open on that particular day, or whatever. It's not my concern what you do outside of work hours. But I think this is antiquated. I don't think this is the kind of management ethos that the next generation, that our generation, is going to be putting forward in the workplace. That we hire the whole person, that the skills and the knowledge and the values that individuals create and cultivate outside of work are valuable in the workplace. And as such, we as managers, as aspiring HR professionals, we have to take that stuff seriously, and we have to take that into account as we develop policy and as we cultivate workplaces that people want to be in. So, at any rate, the video is pretty ad hoc. If you want a more thorough, cited, well-articulated collection of my thoughts on this piece and also the assignment, there will be a written assignment uploaded to the discussions. And I encourage you to check it out, give me any feedback, and thank you so much for checking in. Have a good rest of your day.